Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it. Okay, today we are going to be in Numbers chapter 10, verse 1 through chapter 11, verse 23. The Lord spoke to Moses. Make 2 trumpets of silver. You are to make them from a single hammered piece. You will use them for assembling the community and for directing the traveling of the camps. When they blow them both, all the community must come to you to the entrance of the tent of meeting. But if they blow with 1 trumpet, then the leaders, the heads of the thousands of Israel, must come to you. When you blow an alarm, then the camps that are located on the east side must begin to travel. And when you blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that are located on the south side must begin to travel. An alarm must be sounded for their journeys. But when you assemble the community, you must blow, but you must not sound an alarm. The sons of Aaron, the priests, must blow the trumpets, and they will be to you for an eternal ordinance throughout your generations. If you go to war in your land against an adversary who opposes you, then you must sound an alarm with the trumpets, and you will be remembered before the Lord your God, and you will be saved from your enemies. Also, in the time when you rejoice, such as on your appointed festivals, or at the beginning of your months, you must blow with your trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, so that they may become a memorial for you before your God. I am the Lord your God. On the 20th day of the second month, in the second year, the cloud was taken up from the tabernacle of the testimony. So the Israelites set out on their journeys from the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud settled in the wilderness of Paran. This was the first time they set out on their journey, according to the commandment of the Lord, by the authority of Moses. The standard of the camp of the Judahites set out first according to their companies, and over his company was Nashon, son of Amminadab. Over the company of the tribe of the Issacharites was Nethanel, son of Zuar, and over the company of the tribe of the Zebulunites was Elion, son of Helon. Then the tabernacle was dismantled, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari set out carrying the tabernacle. The standard of the camp of Reuben set out according to their companies. Over his company was Elazar, son of Shedeur. Over the company of the tribe of the Simeonites was Shelemiel, son of Zarashadai. And over the company of the tribe of the Gadites was Eliasaph, son of Duel. And the Kohathites set out, carrying the articles for the sanctuary. The tabernacle was to be set up before they arrived, and the standard of the camp of the Ephraimites set out, according to their companies. Over his company was Elishama, son of Ammihud. Over the company of the tribe of the Manassites was Gamaliel, son of Pedazur. And over the company of the tribe of the Benjamites was Abidan, son of Gideoni. The standard of the camp of the Danites set out, which was the rear guard of all the camps by their companies. Over his company was Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. Over the company of the tribe of the Asherites was Pagiel, son of Ochran. And over the company of the tribe of the Naphtalites was Ahira, son of Enan. These were the traveling arrangements of the Israelites according to their companies when they traveled. Moses said to Hobab, son of Reuel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, "We are journeying to the place about which the Lord said, 'I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good things for Israel.' But Hobab said to him, 'I will not go, but I will instead go to my own land and to my kindred.' Moses said, 'Do not leave us, because you know places for us to camp in the wilderness, and you could be our guide. And if you come with us, it is certain that whatever good things that the Lord will favor us with, we will share with you as well.' So they traveled from the mountain of the Lord 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord was traveling before them during the 3 days' journey, to find a resting place for them. And the cloud of the Lord was over them by day when they traveled from the camp. And when the ark traveled, Moses would say, 'Rise up, O Lord, may your enemies be scattered, and may those who hate you flee before you.' And when it came to rest, he would say, 'Return, O Lord, to the many thousands of Israel.' When the people complained, it displeased the Lord. When the Lord heard it, his anger burned, and so the fire of the Lord burned among them, and consumed some of the outer parts of the camp. When the people cried to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died out. So he called the name of that place Taberah, because there the fire of the Lord burned among them. Now the mixed multitude who were among them craved more desirable foods, and so the Israelites wept again and said, 'If only we had meat to eat.' Remember the fish we used to eat freely in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now we are dried up, and there is nothing at all before us except this manna." Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its color like the color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it, and ground it with mills, or pounded it in mortars. They baked it in pans and made cakes of it. It tasted like fresh olive oil. And when the dew came down on the camp in the night, the manna fell with it. Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, everyone at the door of his tent. And when the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly, Moses was also displeased. And Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you afflicted your servant? Why have I not found favor in your sight, that you lay the burden of this entire people on me? Did I conceive this entire people? Did I give birth to them? That you should say to me, 'Carry them in your arms,' as a foster father bears a nursing child to the land which you swore to their fathers? From where shall I get meat to give to this entire people? For they cry to me, 'Give us meat that we may eat.' I am not able to bear this entire people alone, because it is too heavy for me. But if you are going to deal with me like this, then kill me immediately. If I have found favor in your sight, then do not let me see my trouble." The Lord said to Moses, "Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know are elders of the people. Thank you. And officials over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting. Let them take their position there with you. Then I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take part of the Spirit that is on you, and will put it on them, and they will bear some of the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it all by yourself. And say to the people, 'Sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, and you will eat meat, for you have wept in the hearing of the Lord, saying, Who will give us meat to eat? For life was good for us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat. You will eat not just 1 day, not 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but a whole month, until it comes out your nostrils and makes you sick, because you have despised the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, Why did we ever come out of Egypt?' Moses said, 'The people around me are 600,000 on foot, but you say, I will give them meat that they may eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if the flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? If all the fish of the sea were caught for them, would they have enough?' And the Lord said to Moses, 'Is the Lord's hand shortened? Now you will see whether my word to you will come true or not.'" So we just get through this ordered procession, the description of how orderly the procession is when the camp of the Israelites is moving, and then we immediately go to the dissension, complaining, the grumbling of Israel, the disorderly conduct in the next chapter. And at the very start of chapter 10, we had these trumpets being made for Israel, and they were used for when the camp of Israel would assemble, when they would come back, and when they would go out, and which people would go out. And it just kind of reminded me of like end times, like eschatology, where you have this vision of the trumpet being blown and the nations assembling. It's pretty disheartening here that Moses also is questioning God in 11:21 and 22. It's like, there's so many people. You couldn't feed them all if you dragged every fish out of the sea. And he's God. So anyway, carrying on. Mark chapter 14, verses 1 through 21. 2 days before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the chief priests and the experts in the law were trying to find a way to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. For they said, not during the feast, so there won't be a riot among the people. Now, while Jesus was in Bethany, at the house of Simon the leper, reclining at the table, a woman came with an alabaster jar of costly aromatic oil from pure nard. After breaking open the jar, she poured it on his head. But some who were present indignantly said to one another, "Why this waste of expensive ointment? It could have been sold for more than 300 silver coins, and the money given to the poor." So they spoke angrily to her. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? She has done a good service for me. For you will always have the poor with you, and you can do good for them whenever you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She anointed my body beforehand for burial. I tell you the truth, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus into their hands. When they heard this, they were delighted and promised to give him money. So Judas began looking for an opportunity to betray him. Now on the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, Jesus' disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" He sent 2 of his disciples and told them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him. Wherever he enters, tell the owner of the house, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make preparations for us there." So the disciples left, went into the city, and found things just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. Then when it was evening, he came to the house with the 12. While they were at the table eating, Jesus said, "I tell you the truth, one of you eating with me will betray me." They were distressed, and one by one said to him, "Surely not I." He said to them, "It is one of the 12, one who dips his hand with me into the bowl. For the Son of Man will go as it is written about him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would be better for him if he had never been born." This story about the woman who poured this jar of aromatic oil on Jesus' head. I think Mike Winger made a good point about it, that some of the disciples, in verse 4, some who were present indignantly said to one another, "Why this waste of expensive ointment? It could have been sold for more than 300 silver coins, and the money given to the poor." And he made the point, and bringing it into kind of today's terms, about preventing one good act by saying that a better act could be done. The problem is that in doing so, you're preventing a good act from being done. And there's this sense of moral superiority that's part of this. Like, oh, if I was in charge of that money, I wouldn't have bought perfume. I would have given it to the poor, kind of thing. And I believe in today's terms that's called virtue signaling. The ability to project morality, your good moral standing, without actually doing anything. And also in stopping something good from being done. So, carrying on. Psalm chapter 51, verses 1 through 19. Have mercy on me, O God, because of your loyal love, because of your great compassion. Wipe away my rebellious acts. Wash away my wrongdoing. Cleanse me of my sin. For I am aware of my rebellious acts. I am forever conscious of my sin. Against you, you above all, I have sinned. I have done what is evil in your sight. So you are just when you confront me. You are right when you condemn me. Look, I was guilty of sin from birth, a sinner from the moment my mother conceived me. Look, you desire integrity in the inner man. You want me to possess wisdom. Sprinkle me with water, and I will be pure. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Grant me the ultimate joy of being forgiven. May the bones you crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, wipe away all my guilt. Create for me a pure heart, O God. Renew a resolute spirit within me. Do not reject me. Do not take your Holy Spirit away from me. Let me again experience the joy of your deliverance. Sustain me by giving me the desire to obey. Then I will teach rebels your merciful ways, and sinners will turn to you. Rescue me from the guilt of murder, O God, the God who delivers me. Then my tongue will shout for joy because of your deliverance. O Lord, give me the words. Then my mouth will praise you. Certainly you do not want a sacrifice, or else I would offer it to you. You do not desire a burnt sacrifice. The sacrifices God desires are a humble spirit. O God, a humble and repentant heart you will not reject. Because you favor Zion, do what is good for her. Fortify the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will accept the proper sacrifices, burnt sacrifices, and whole offerings. Then bulls will be sacrificed on your altar. Oh. Probably helped to read the introduction to this. This is for the choir director. It's a psalm of David when Nathan the prophet came to him after he had gone into Bathsheba. So, if you know that story, Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah the Hittite, who was one of the soldiers in David's army. David desired Bathsheba, so he ended up having Uriah killed by putting him too close to the wall of the city that he was fighting against, which is basically a death sentence. And then he took his wife from him. So Nathan the prophet convicted him of this, and this is the psalm he wrote afterwards. And I think it's important, in particular, Psalm 51, verses 16 and 17. Certainly, you do not want a sacrifice, or else I would offer it. Yeah, you do not desire a burnt sacrifice. The sacrifices God desires are a humble spirit. O God, a humble and repentant heart you will not reject. Yeah. And I think for me, the main point I get out of that is that it's not by legalistic following of the law that we can have a right relationship with God. But we need to have an attitude change. Proverbs 10, verses 31 and 32. The speech of the righteous bears the fruit of wisdom, but the one who speaks perversion will be destroyed. The lips of the righteous know what is pleasing, but the speech of the wicked is perverse. Kind of by your fruits you will know them kind of thing. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Bye.